Alright y'all, here goes my attempt at doing another video. Hopefully it won't be so long in between videos anymore. I'm going to try to do more often, and I apologize that it's been a while since I've been doing consistent videos. In any case, tonight I'm making flautas, which this is going to be a hurry up process, so hopefully it won't be a long video. But right now I currently have some chicken. I just put it on to boil. Let me see if I can't get this thing to go down. I just put it right there in the pot I put some onion in there. Oh, and I almost forgot, I just realized I didn't put any garlic in there. I like to put like a little clove or so of garlic. It does not have to be unwrapped. You can see it's still just like this, it don't matter. Just gonna dump that in the water, just like that. Typically about 1 clove per chicken breast. So with flautas, I like to use chicken breast. And that's what I've got in here. As you can probably see, let me try to get this without getting anybody seasick again. You can see that this has, it's got like the foam that's on there. And so I'm just going to take a spoon, and typically a bigger spoon, something like this, you know, just a regular tablespoon. And I'm going to just take and start to take that off. It takes away maybe a teeny little bit of that gaminess. It may or may not, but it's what I learned to do when I was learning Mexican cooking, so I just do it. So I will do that, and usually you got to get it before it starts to really boil good, because if you don't, then it will kind of just boil and it'll just kind of incorporate itself into that water, and the broth tastes a little bit better, things like that. So therefore, and because of this, then I'm just gonna keep it like that. So as you can see, I'm going to leave that to boil for probably about 20-25 minutes till the chicken breasts are completely cooked. Then I'm going to get it shredded, and then it'll be ready to get into the tortilla shells, and I will get to that in a minute. I will try not to get ahead of myself too much. I tend to do that quite often, but I'm going to try to keep everything as easy as I can possibly do it to keep everything as authentic as I can, especially anybody else that wants to have truly authentic Mexican food. I want to keep it authentic for you, but in a way that a non-Hispanic person, or even possibly a Hispanic person that has never been taught how to cook their own food, I would be honored to help you out. So I'm going to keep it as authentic as I can so that anybody that wants to learn, they can. And so I will be back once this is boiled. I know that I already have a video on my channel that is about making green salsa. I have some that is the non-spicy one, and this is the almost spicy one, because the chiles that I got, the jalapenos that I had to put into the salsa, they had no bite. So, oh well, it is what it is, but it's okay. But it has a good flavor, and that's what's important. Okay, so while that is cooking, I have a head of lettuce, and I'm going to just start to finely chop this up. You don't want it in big, huge chunks. I know that in my family, we always just kind of ripped it up kind of thing. Not with Mexican cooking, let me put it that way. So, I'm going to show you the best that I can how that it gets cut, okay? Alright, take it in the middle, because that will make life a lot easier, okay? And then you just want to take it. You don't have to necessarily, because that's kind of looking a little bit rough, so that can get taken and put off to the side. But you want it to be very fine, okay? And don't worry if you've washed it, haven't washed it. This lettuce it's not a big deal if you have not washed it yet. I did not wash this because I will be rinsing it off before, after I get it cut, so that it won't turn brown, okay? And I will be back momentarily. If you can see, it's very fine there on the knife. It's very fine here. I'm trying to keep everything within the camera. So hopefully that will be, I will show you in just a minute once I've got everything cut up. Okay, real quick, I'm going to just show you, this is all my finely shredded or cut up lettuce, I'm going to rinse it off because that way it doesn't turn brown. But then once it gets rinsed, I'm going to leave it over this bowl so that it can catch any of the extra water that comes out. Because for quite obvious reasons, it's going to start to drain, and even after I let it drain in the sink. So I'll just keep that there so that after it drains in the sink, it'll be right there to pick anything up. Because I already did rinse some of this lettuce off, and so I wanted to make sure that was there. So there we go. Alright, so right now I'm going to do what I would consider my little hack, or whatever you want to call it, for shredding chicken. I hope that the camera is still easy to see. Let me see. Okay. I learned this several years ago, actually, off of social media, so if you don't already know about it, I hope it can be helpful for you too. Here we go. And there you go. An entire chicken breast already shredded. Okay, so here comes the next part. I have got a package of tortillas, which anybody that knows me knows that in general I do not eat bagged tortillas. I much prefer to make them myself, but these are one of the few dishes that I will definitely use bagged tortillas with. They turn out much, much better with a pre-made tortilla. So I've got these. I personally prefer the yellow corn tortillas, but it probably doesn't really much matter, whichever that you prefer. And I'm just kind of separating them since they tend to like to stick together. Now, granted, I have seen plenty of videos, or I won't say plenty, I have seen several videos that the person just threw the bag in the microwave. And that may or may not work for some people. I don't know. I think I've only tried that one time. And the tortillas got so hot that you almost couldn't even touch them till they were easy to crack all over again. So it's to me, it was a useless, pointless exercise in frustration, you can say. So I'm going to be putting them over here on my griddle so that they can heat up, because you want these things to be very hot. Definitely, I will admit, I have burned my hands multiple times because of these, but if you don't have it super duper hot, then it can easily crack, and everything that you've got in there, which of course this is only going to have shredded chicken in them, but everything's going to be falling out. So there we go with that. So I'm going to put this camera over here so that you can see what I'm doing over here on the stove, and we're going to get at it. Okay, here we go. This is from the chicken. So anyways, I want it to get plenty warm on the one side. There we go with that. I don't remember the last time if I did it on my other quote-unquote non-stick griddle. That may be the difference right now. Alright, I'm going to leave that there for just another couple seconds. It is very hot. It is kind of burning my fingers, which is why I've got the knife. Just like if you've seen my tortilla video, I use a knife because I'm not very good at this. Alright, here we go. And I have to be very quick about this because this will definitely start to tear apart if you don't get it quick. Okay, here we go. And then I'm just going to take a toothpick, put it right there, and then that'll keep it together till you can put it in the frying pan. I'm going to do several of these, and then I'll be back, and we'll be ready to put them in the oil. Now, while I'm not folding anything or rolling anything up real quick, I'm going to show you. You notice I have a paper towel up under here. This is to absorb any and all of the moisture from the sweat that will come off of the tortillas once they come straight from the griddle, because they will start to sweat a teeny bit, and you don't want that. Obviously, if they're going to be wet, you do not want that going into the oil, because these get deep fried. And when they get into that oil, if they got water on them at all, it's going to be popping, quite literally. And that can become hazardous to your health. I will just put it that way. And it can become very painful. And so definitely you want to have these things tightly rolled up. You want to have them, ouch. So anyways, I'm living. I hurt my finger. But that's normal whenever you're doing this one. But it's a delicious food, and that's what's important, right? So, anyways, I'm hoping that I'm making this everything clear and easy to understand. And like I said, it's not necessarily, it may be a little bit more difficult, but it's definitely more authentic, and it's definitely much more tasty and much more worthwhile. Okay, we are pretty much ready to deep fry these. I just have to make sure that the oil, while I was getting the last of them done up, I started heating the oil. So I'm going to take a teeny piece of chicken and I'm going to put it into the oil, and I will show you in just a second. I hope that it won't be too far away. It should start to bubble around it if it's ready to fry. So right now it's not quite there. So it looks like it may be very shortly, but in the meantime I'm gonna let it heat up a little bit more, and then it will probably be ready momentarily. Okay, here goes the next attempt to see if it's ready. I'm gonna put this kind of over here towards the side so that hopefully it'll be pretty easy. Yep, you can see that it's already starting to bubble maybe. I don't know if you can see it very well from there. I don't know if it's able, but I can see that it's bubbling all around that chicken that I've got in there. It's definitely bubbling. So I can get the rest of these things in there. What I want is these, you want to keep that kind of at least at towards the top so that it's not, what's it called? You want to have the folded part of the flauta, you want to have it towards the bottom. And that way it can fry and it will kind of solidify itself right there, just by being on the underside, okay? Alright, and then just like that. Now I can take that one out. But just, maybe in the middle. And then I can take that and put it right there, see? And then you can just keep going little by little. Keep them close together because then they will keep each other closed too. Alright. 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 Put that in there just a second. And I'm just getting them into the pan, just little by little. It's not hard once you've done it a time or two. It really doesn't take that long to learn, I don't think. It's just kind of getting your own rhythm with it, pretty much. And there we go. It's going into the oil, and they'll be typically a couple of minutes on each side, depending on how crispy you like them. I love these things to be super crunchy. Some people might like them to be almost soft and barely fried at all. That depends on the person. And another thing that I was going to mention is that you want the heat to be enough to fry the flautas, but you don't want it to be exorbitant, because if you do, it could make the tortillas just all of a sudden, they kind of just inflate really badly, and they don't want to deflate, and that's not okay. Okay, as you can see, I've got all my flautas. They're not all of the ones that I'm going to be frying, but I've got as many as will fit in here. And they will keep each other all put together. Okay, and in a minute or so, I'm going to be flipping, or at least checking to see if they're ready to flip to the other side. To just kind of turn them around, just kind of like that. And that way they can get the other side nice and fried up. Okay, now really quick, I know that you will have seen that I started over here, but at the same time, I'm going to check these ones in the middle, because for whatever it is, I don't know if it's just my stove, but it seems like both the stoves that I have been on, they seem to fry a bit better in the middle. Okay, that's pretty good. I would like it to be a little bit, a little bit toastier. So I'm going to leave it just about 30 more seconds, and then it's probably going to be ready. I will start to go, from the middle out, if that makes sense. And that way, because whatever's on the outside is probably going to tend to be less crispy than what's in the middle. So that way you're not getting it too much in the middle, but yet you're not leaving the ones on the outside and letting them stay too soft. Because these are supposed to be, flautas are supposed to be crunchy. So you want the crunch. Otherwise, I don't know if it's very good. I've never had them without being really crunchy. So. Alright. Okay. Alright. Now, if you see, they're not unfolding because they have deep fried and kind of kept, they deep fried themselves into staying put. Yep, that one's trying to turn over. Okay. I hope that you can see. I'm sorry if you can't. Okay. That one's looking like it may or may not want to stay together, so I think I'm going to keep it there for just a minute. Oh, and if you see, this one is exactly what I was talking about. It's getting all fluffy a little bit too much, but hallelujah anyhow, right? But the bad thing about that is that sometimes if they get like that, they'll be soaking up all that oil, and it's just not good. Alright, I'm going to turn this one over. Okay. Alright, that looks good. Some of these are not quite ready to turn over, and that's what I'm kind of just checking out little by little. And that one don't look ready either. That one looks like it very well may be. Yep. Okay. Sometimes they don't want to turn over too well. Okay, these ones definitely feel very soft. I think I'm going to leave them for another minute. And as these come out, I'm going to turn the camera just a teeny bit so that y'all can see. I've got a bowl ready for these to start to drain. So they will be ready momentarily. I'm going to put a couple more minutes up on here. And then while some of the rest are still frying up, I will go ahead and get some ready because I've got some family that have been here for a little while waiting for me to cook. So I will get their plates ready and I can show you how to prepare them real quick. And then I can end the video process, and that'll probably be a little bit helpful for me to be able to hurry up everything else too. So, okie dokie, I think I'm going to check these flautas at the very least, the ones in the middle. Okay, let me see if I can. I'm going to take this over here so that y'all can see. It's a beautiful color. It's nice and toasted. So you're going to want to put it there in that pan right here. Okay, that way it can start to drain some of that oil off, alright? And then you can see that the rest of these, they're getting there. They're not quite there, but they're getting there real quick. So it'll be just a couple more seconds and we'll be starting to take everything out. And we'll be ready to start plating. That one I think is ready. Okay, really quick, now I'm going to do the plating, and then I will at least let somebody eat, and then I will finish frying up the rest of these, and right now that's kind of a moot point. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start plating, so I'm going to put the camera down on the plate so that you can see what I'm doing. Obviously, I'll talk a teeny bit while I'm doing it, and then I can show you how that it gets plated. Okay, here we go. Obviously, it depends on how many you want. For the people that I am preparing these for, I mean, granted, everybody has a different size stomach, so that's obvious, whatever you're going to like. So, but these get sour cream. I personally use Daisy, but, you know, hey, Walmart brand, Food Lion brand, Costco, Kroger's, whatever you got, whatever, it's sour cream, okay? Just kind of, it does look prettier when you use, you know, the ones that are the tube or whatever, almost like toothpaste kind of thing. It does look prettier like that, but you know, it actually gets smothered like this, so that's the good part. Alright, then you take the green salsa, which if you need to know how to do that, I've got a video on how to make different kinds of green salsa. This is just the tomate, or tomatillo is what they call it at the store, with jalapenos and a little bit of salt and a little bit, this one I added a little bit of cilantro and it got all blended up. Then next is Cotija cheese, which I will show you what this is. Right here, Cotija. So it is sold at definitely at Walmart. I'm not for sure about what other stores, but yeah, just kind of it has a much, it's almost like a crumbled powdery mozzarella cheese. I do know that my sister-in-law, while she was pregnant, she preferred to use mozzarella, just straight mozzarella cheese. And then I would do that, and then top that with that finely shredded lettuce, or diced, or whatever you want to call it. But yes, there you go, and it's done. I hope that you've enjoyed my video, and that if you make this, that you get to enjoy it as much as I have. Definitely the food. I like making videos because I know that people hopefully will get to learn something from it. But in the meantime, if you get to make it, I hope that you enjoy it just as much as I do. I literally have not made these. I made these a couple weeks ago for the first time in probably 4 years. And so, but I have definitely, my kids are like, please make them again. So I'm making it while my family's here tonight. So I hope that you enjoy this once you make it, and have a delicious day.